Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports that oil prices have seen a sharp increase, with Brent crude futures jumping more than 7% in Asia. This surge is attributed to recent attacks on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz and contradictory statements regarding peace negotiations between the United States and Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump announced that American forces seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship attempting to evade a U.S. blockade. This was followed by reports from the UK Maritime Trade Operations Center detailing attacks on two vessels in the strait. While President Trump initially stated that a U.S. delegation would travel to Pakistan for further ceasefire talks with Iran, Iranian state news agency IRNA later reported Tehran's refusal to participate, citing the ongoing U.S. blockade and Washington's excessive demands. The two-week ceasefire between the nations is set to expire soon without an extension, and previous talks broke down. Iran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial route for approximately one-fifth of global oil and natural gas supplies, has significantly driven up fuel prices worldwide. Despite these dimming prospects for de-escalation, Asia's major stock markets opened higher. The U.S. military announced it carried out another strike on an alleged drug trafficking vessel in the Caribbean Sea, resulting in the deaths of 3 individuals on Sunday, CBS News reports. This incident is the latest in the Trump administration's sustained campaign targeting suspected drug-faring boats in Latin American waters, which has been active since early September. The campaign has reportedly claimed at least 181 lives, and involves strikes on 54 vessels, some occurring in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Despite an ongoing Iran war, these aggressive measures, which the administration terms narco-terrorism prevention, show no signs of abating. Critics have raised questions about the overall legality of these boat strikes. U.S. Southern Command has previously stated it cannot disclose specific sources or methods for operational security reasons, and the military has not publicly provided evidence that any of the targeted vessels were carrying drugs. These attacks intensified as the U.S. bolstered its military presence in the region, preceding the January raid that led to the capture of then Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who now faces drug trafficking charges in New York and has pleaded not guilty. President Trump justifies these actions as a necessary escalation in an armed conflict against cartels, aiming to curb the flow of drugs and fatal overdoses in the United States. According to reports from Hong Kong media, as reported by Zio Shabal, the fraud case involving Jiayin, founder of China's giant real estate developer Evergrande Group, has implicated a significant number of high-ranking officials and financial system executives in mainland China. Among those named are Sun Zhigong, former party secretary of Guizhou Province, and Tang Yijun, former Minister of Justice. Jiayin's trial commenced last week in Shenzhen, where he pleaded guilty to 8 charges, including fundraising fraud. The collapse of Evergrande and Jiayin left behind a staggering RMB 2.4 trillion in debt, marking it as one of the world's largest real estate debt crises. Analysis indicates that this immense debt flowed into several areas. Over 50 billion RMB in high dividends to Su and his family, failed diversified investments like Evergrande Auto, Evergrande Spring, and Guangzhou Evergrande Football Club, high-interest financing consuming 500 billion RMB in interest, and lavish personal spending. The report also detailed bribery of officials, citing cases related to the Haihua Island project, land development in Guizhou, and lax oversight of Evergrande's control over Shujing Bank. Former Shenzhen Mayor Chen Rugui and former head of the State General Administration of Sport Guo Zhongwen were also implicated. Additionally, numerous financial executives, including former presidents of major banks, are entangled in the Evergrande scandal for allegedly facilitating massive loans. Indonesia's Mount Dukono in North Halmahera, North Maluku, erupted once more on Monday morning, sending a column of dense volcanic ash 1.4 kilometers above its summit. Antara reports that Lana Saria, acting head of Indonesia's geological agency, stated the eruption occurred at 5:53 a.m. local time, with the white to gray ash plume drifting eastward with thick intensity. Seismic data recorded a maximum amplitude of 25 millimeters and a duration of 49.87 seconds, indicating moderate but persistent volcanic activity. Eruptive activity continues, with intermittent ash emissions observed throughout the morning. Mount Dukono maintains its Alert Level 2 status, or waspada, which is the second level in Indonesia's four-tier volcanic alert system, signifying heightened activity but no immediate large-scale eruption threat. Authorities have advised residents and visitors to avoid all activities within a 4-kilometer radius of the Melupang Warang crater, the volcano's main active vent. Additionally, communities are urged to be prepared with face masks due to periodic ashfall, whose spread depends on wind direction and speed, making affected areas unpredictable. Seoul stocks experienced a significant surge late Monday morning, with the benchmark Korea Composite Stock Price Index, KOSPI, climbing 81.79 points, or 1.32%, to reach 6,273.71 by 11:20 a.m. This robust performance occurred despite ongoing concerns regarding renewed tensions between the United States and Iran in the Middle East. Recent developments include the U.S. seizure of an Iranian-flagged commercial vessel, which Iran has labeled a violation of a ceasefire. Investors are also monitoring reports that Iran has no plans to engage in a second round of peace talks with the U.S. in Seoul. Most large-cap shares posted gains, notably major chipmakers Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix, which rose 0.93% and 3.72% respectively. SK Hynix is anticipated to release its first quarter earnings later this week. Defense firm Hanwha Aerospace added 0.35%, and financial giant KB Financial inched up 0.12%. However, top automaker Hyundai Motor saw a slight decline of 0.37%. The local currency also strengthened, trading at 1,474.11 against the U.S. dollar, a 9.1 increase from the previous session. This report is from Yonhap News Agency. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.